Well, hello, Lego friends, and welcome to another sorting experience. So, I'm being a little bit cheeky because you can already see something on your screen. And we can see that this is from the Lego Avengers, but who is it? Who is it? Captain Marvel. Yeah, just wondering if you'd actually guessed that. And it's a funny thing, but just make sure that you don't forget, Captain Marvel is female. So I'm actually popping that into our superheroes section. So we're going to look again at a real variety of Lego minifigures today, friends. And let's start with this little friend. Now, this top and those pants actually can be a little bit deceiving because, and this is thinking without a catalogue, my first thought is that this has come from City Lego, and there is actually a general section of City Lego, but there's also a section called City Recreation, and sometimes pieces like this, minifigures like this, will actually appear in the recreation sub theme of the City Lego. You can see this little person here is wearing a sort of a top that's tied around, sort of implying that it's a bit of beachwear. So it's possible that this little one is going to the beach. What's interesting is that there's no two-headedness to this person, even though they've got long hair, which often is an indicator that one of the minifigures may actually end up having two faces. So as I pop another one up, this is like the perfect example. Again, we've got somebody with a big ponytail and a very detailed bit of hair it is as well. And when we turn over, this person actually does have a face on the other side of their head. Now, I'm thinking that this one, looking at the garb and the tool that this little person has, that this person could come from the more recent Castle series of Lego. And look at the face, even with sort of a little beauty spot mark on the right hand cheek. You wouldn't have got that in the early days of Lego minifigures. Now I'm pulling somebody down straight away, and now this, a cape. I love the way that Lego actually pops the cape in here, and even with an indicating number for the cape. If I did this and simply this, I'm hoping that you could instantly identify who we are about to look at, because of course that is the hammer of someone we know and love. And that's our Thor. Thor has a myriad of outfits, and this may very well be a Thor from the Avengers series. And I'm just turning over to show you the other side of his head there. Of course, he has his own comic line himself. He is a comic superstar in his own right. However, I think that was actually from the Avengers. Moving from Marvel, which is what Thor is, to another Marvel character. And I'm just moving this up so we get a little bit of a focus. Oh, nice. Isn't it funny? I just said the word and it popped up. The purple and green is also reminiscent of the Joker from Batman, particularly the early Joker, but we're not looking at the Joker here, looking at that little crazy face. Nearly lost him altogether, and gee, that's a tragedy when you lose their heads bouncing around on the floor. Believe we're looking at the Green Goblin here, one of Superman. Oh my gosh! Cast me down, friends. Cast me down and wash my mouth out with soap. One of Spider-Man's enemies. And I love the portrayal of Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin. That crazy moment where he comes out of the machine, where he turns, from himself into essentially the Green Goblin, where he crouches down and then springs out. It's just awesome. That guy certainly had a face to play the Green Goblin. Now we move from superheroes to what I believe this could actually be city Lego, and I actually think this could be a snake wrangler. This is going to be really interesting. Oh, do you know what's really funny is looking at it at first, I thought, oh look, there's a $sign on the back of his torso, but in fact it already looks like a snake. So in fact, I may have actually accidentally got that one right. He's got no other side of his head, but he does have an awesome hat there, and so it'll be really good to catalogue that little guy. But I do think he comes from the City Lego. Okay, looking at a friend here, and these teeth, if I can get his head to stop rolling around, these teeth are going to be a bit of a dead giveaway, as is perhaps the hair here. We are looking at little vampire. Now, really interestingly, Lego has a series or a theme called Holidays and Events. So this little guy may actually come from the Halloween portion of that. There was actually a series of Lego Monster House series of Lego where there are a whole heap of vampires and werewolves and Frankenstein like characters. It'll be interesting to see if that little guy fits in Monsters or what am I doing? Sorry guys, I'm just getting way too low there. Monsters or Holidays and Events. So as we look at this character, our first thought might be, oh my gosh, this is actually a monster as well. But that torso is very, very reminiscent of somebody who I accidentally called Superman a moment ago. Very reminiscent of Spider-Man, particularly with the spider legs out there. However, that face, there's no way we'd see Peter Parker dressed up with that face. I think we are looking at Venom here. Obviously dressed all in black and not a very nice character. The last thing we want is for a spider to be sprouting out our venom. Okay, now really moving away from superheroes and into what I believe is Harry Potter. I'm just also going to give you a view of the back of this guy as well. I believe this is one of the mechanical Death Eaters. They really, really freaked me out. Just having a bit of a look at his head here, that kind of creepiness, particularly characters that don't talk, really freaks me out. It kind of it reminded me of when I read Lord of the Rings many years ago, and the Dark Riders. Oh my gosh, they creeped me out just from the novel. So going from being creeped out to somebody who looks incredibly wholesome, I think we're still looking at a character from the Spider-Man series, and his name has actually totally escaped me at the moment. But again, as a reminder, as a librarian, we don't need to remember everything. We just need to be able to know where we can actually find things. So it'd be good to be able to look through the Spider-Man catalogue and see if we can actually nail that guy down and find out exactly who he is and where he's come from. Okay, my favourite colour is red. However, here's a little guy who disturbs me and doesn't even want to look up at the camera because he's being a little bit difficult. With that red head, Red Skull. It actually sounds like something that an Australian would name. You know how we've got, like, you know, a snake that's brown that's deadly, so we call it the brown snake. You know, we've got a, you know, big desert in the middle of Australia that's, you know, quite sandy, so we call it the Great Sandy Desert. And here we have a little guy with a red head, essentially, that looks like a skull, and he's called Red Skull. So good work there, Marvel, for taking on a little bit of an Australian flavour to your naming conventions. So, and again, just showing his back there as well. Red Skull, enemy of Captain America. It'll be good because I've got a few Captain America minifigures. And I actually did buy I did get my hands on some of the original Captain America comics. Just absolutely love that sort of original flavour. Now we move from essentially the supernatural to the very natural. I think we're looking at some city Lego here. Now that torso I think has been used on a number of minifigure characters. It actually reminds me of the farmer from one of the collectible minifigures series, the little farmer and the pig with the pitchfork, and we've actually got the back of the torso here as well, where he's got the overalls on. There's a series of Lego that came out under the Town umbrella, Town Lego, which became City Lego, and that was Town Farm Lego. The Farm Lego was far simpler, but this particular outfit actually reminds me of one of the farmers, although the hairstyle here, if I can sort of hold this and for you to take a little bit of a look at while I roll it around, far more complex to be sort of some of the early Lego pieces as well. What we might, I've just grabbed one more character to finish us off. And Jiminy Cricket, we better all know who this is, and he's featured quite heavily with his rivals as well as some subsidiary characters. Here we have our good old Spidey again. What's interesting about this torso is that he actually has a pattern on his arms. It's not a simple blue arm, and of course we're looking at the spider on the back here with his little web head. So on that note, we'll wrap up again for this session of sorting. Please, friends, hit that like and subscribe button so it can just bring you more of the amazing world of minifigures. Have an absolutely wonderful day, and Lego Librarian out.